Here's why you're burnt out in your music career. You're stuck in a chaotic cycle of reactive expression, meaning probably, if you're like me, music came into your life when you needed to express and do so in a way where you were going to be validated and you weren't going to be criticized. So what this has done to you over time, to your subconscious mind, is your relationship with music isn't one that's a opportunity for growth, more creativity and expansion, a abundant, wonderful career. Your relationship with music is actually one that's on the side of addiction. Because what's been going on, is that your mind understands that music is going to cure what? Your need to express and to be heard. Your need to receive validation from those that you love around you. So there's nothing wrong with you. It's just a matter of reframing and restructuring this relationship with music so that you can actually do music in the way that you want. Because right now it's confined to a certain set of expectations in your subconscious mind, and that's what's holding you back. That's what's keeping you from advancing to that next level. And if you stick around, I'll share with you the 3 key tips on how to make this transformation in your life, the framework that's built into my program, Amplify Your Voice. More info with the link below for that. So point number 1, you need to completely restructure your finances, your understanding around money and how and what it means to have money, and also that your relationship with music, your career as a musician, doesn't have to be tied to money per se. Obviously, we want you to be making money off your music, but you got to break this false belief that I know is going on in your mind, saying if I don't earn income with my craft, that means I'm not a real musician. That's not the truth. That's just not the truth. That's like having a comparison of, if I don't have a partner that walks on 2 legs, I don't have a real partnership. That's the kind of bizarre combination. Just don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. You can be with someone that's in a wheelchair. You can be with someone that has prosthetic legs. And that's just a, ridiculous random example. But you gotta approach your career with freedom. And if you're constantly stuck in a place of reactive expression, spontaneous expression, that doesn't exactly set you up for a career unless you have the liquidity of finances and assets to work with. So you have to establish your baseline. This is your number 1 step to break out of this chaotic, reactive cycle, like you're living out an old era of T Swift albums. No hate, love her stuff. But we know what we've seen, where breakup, awesome album, breakup, awesome album. And if you've been there too, this is an outdated way of making music. There's better ways of making music. That's not AI. Okay, so you have to establish your baseline. Choose what that number is going to be for you, what's going to allow you to feel comfortable and also free to create as much music as you want without the constraint of finances. So if you're still someone teaching lessons at $50 an hour, you know where that's keeping you? Less than $100K a year, probably less than $70K a year after taxes. That's not much room for flexibility at all. So, for example, on that a little bit, if you up your rate to $175 an hour, work with 12 students over the course of 48 weeks, that brings you up to just over $100K without taxes. So up to you if you want to include the taxes in the price or not, but that's just a quick framework that you could follow to give you the upper hand so that you're not in chaotic reactivity with your musicianship. But you also don't have to make money there, is the thing. You don't want to be in a flatline relationship with money, because that's what's ultimately going to play out in your career as well, in your artistry as well. Flatlining meaning I charge $50 an hour and then I do the work and then I get the money, right? There's more that your money can do than just be a handshake with someone else. Take the handshake after you receive the money and then expand that money. You got to invest. You got to make that money move a little bit more so that you can build that flexibility into your life. And this is just an example that you could follow. Say if you're a teacher, Or if you're a composer or producer and you're charging also the same rate, not more, that also doesn't give you the same kind of flexibility. So number one, establish your baseline and then go from there to getting hyper specific. Point number two, get hyper specific on your goals. So if you don't have the rest of 2026 planned out, here's your opportunity. Join us in Amplify Your Voice or my cohort starting on February 1st, Embodied Voice, which is an opportunity for you to have some accountability, some guidance from me, and some real niche specific what you want to do and accomplish in your career and in your life. Because if you're waking up and you're like, whoa, where did the last 5 years go? Where did last year go? Year of the snake, it was awful, I know. And if you were robbed of that time, okay, this is the opportunity for you to restructure, reframe, and really pivot into where you want to be headed and what you want to achieve and accomplish. So more info with the links below for those opportunities. So when you get hyper specific on your goals, you need to make them tangible. What do I mean by that? Write them on a sticky note. Have it on your car dash every single day. Have it on your computer desktop every single day. Put it in an Excel spreadsheet, a spreadsheet, Google spreadsheet. Write it down what your goals are so that you can build in that subconscious wiring now of what you're working towards. After you've established what your baseline is going to be for the finances, so that now what you're able to do is play around with the numbers, right? There's more flexibility and room instead of this rigid, I do this work, I get money, and then it's just in my bank account. It just sits in my savings. I'm growing my savings, but I'm not growing the money. Does that make sense? I hope this is tracking. Get hyper specific about your goals so that you can play with the numbers more, so that you can have flexibility in your career. And it's not just like, because no one wants to be a machine. No one wants to do the same thing day in and day out. While we really love routines, it's nice to be able to have the flexibility built into the structure. That's what we're looking for here. Okay, point number three, use your voice the right way to create this change. If you watched my last video on my first client and best success transformation story, where I helped him move from emotional overwhelm after being Stevie Nicks into 3 successful launched projects in just 12 weeks. Okay, this is where your voice comes into play. I talk in that video about how your voice is your body's regulator, communicator, and navigator. And it's also a filtering system as well as a generator. So it's a balance that you're working with then of I'm filtering out what no longer serves me to generate, receive what I want to now hold, what I want to now work towards. There's a balance. This voice-led clarity method is built into the Amplify Your Voice and Embodied Voice programs. Embodied Voice coming up again, the cohort on February 1st, so link below so you can get involved there. The voice-led clarity method is ultimately what's going to move you from that stuck stagnancy, I'm not sure, I don't know which direction to go, to decisiveness, direction, action, alignment. And last note on that, I'll tell you one thing, self-criticizing isn't going to get you anywhere. If you started your relationship with music out of a place of I need to express and receive validation, that's what you've set yourself up for in your career, but it does not have to stay that way. It's just a reframing of your subconscious mind and your relationship to music that's going to make you more fulfilled, bring that fulfillment into your life and in your career, and help you expand as an artist and really become a master of your craft. So if this video resonated with you, please click that like, share, subscribe button, share it with someone who would also benefit from this. And if you'd like to join us in Amplify Your Voice or my cohort Embodied Voice starting on February 1st, links for those below. Do not miss out. Do not hesitate. The longer you wait, the harder it is to get past this stuff. And I know that you can, and I know that really what you want is to be on stage shining without any stress and overwhelm, wherever it's coming from. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.